The old inner cry, huh, Cece? And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for season 8, episode 4 of Basketball Wives. And we went right back to where we were with everything going down. And old Cece sitting over there, and they start questioning different things as she's sitting there doing the old inner cry. I ain't seen a teardrop. Not a tear dropped out of your mug. And then you weren't even good at the inner cry. Your voice didn't even shake very much because you don't really care. You full of crap. You're full of crap, Cece, and people are starting to be more aware of what it is that you're giving. So just continue on. Just continue on, Miss Cece. Foolishness. Anyway, moving on. We actually see Shawnee checking the outside of the house, and she's talking to Miles, and it seems as though there's been a lot of break-ins over there in Shawnee's neighborhood. She was basically talking about moving. She's like, she is just not here for it at all. She's like, look, I'm going to have to move. And before the end of the episode, baby Miss Shawnee had that moved, and we saw her moving into her new place. I said, you had better put your money where your mouth is. She got her family up and moved and said, to hell with y'all. Y'all can break in and do all this shit y'all want to do down there. Have a ball. We're out. I was like, I'm here for it, honey. To have money, baby, and be able to make moves. That's what I'm talking about. That's good living. Anyway, so let's go over here to uh, Thomas and Kristen are talking, and you could actually see it and this didn't surprise me because I kind of figured that this would be the case. Thomas did feel some kind of way. Felt some kind of way about what actually came out. Like, no, it was no big, huge secret, but it was nobody's business. And then the responses and some of this stuff, and he just feels some kind of way that it was just thrown out there, and that his dad seems to be like in the midst of it, like, oh well, whatever, it is what it is. And again, I don't like Byron. I don't like Byron, but I don't like Byron, but I don't feel like he was shading his relationship with Thomas. I think Cece totally is in the shade of the relationship. Cece, I keep telling y'all, Cece is one of those women who wants Byron for Cece. And everything else around that, if she could, she would do away with. That's just how I see her. Now, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, we will see as time goes on. But I believe if she could have Byron and none of his kids or family members would interfere and it was just him and her, she would be as happy as a sissy and big dick boys town. You understand me? That's just who I see her as. Like I said, right, wrong, or different. That is how I see her. I think she's horrible. She's horrible. That's how I see her. And people like that, I have no patience for them at all. And there are people like that who exist. Keep watching CC. Um, I don't think Byron really. He wasn't happy that the information came out, but he wasn't really all that bothered. Okay. I think it will bother him more when he figures out that Thomas was bothered by it. I think it will actually bother him. So I'll just say that. Then Byron was there having this conversation with Cece, and he basically felt like she wasn't wrong, and he was, kind of playing into this thing that everybody else was wrong except for Cece. Byron, don't end up where it don't be nobody but you and Cece. You understand? It's a mess. Later on, we see Jackie, OG, and Tammy sit down. Tammy, I'm going to need you to shut up. Flat out. I'm going to need you to shut up. Because, see, you got some cock and bull storyline thus far. This, you being married, but don't nobody know about it, that's cock and bull. It's cock and bull. And you saw an N. And you jump on the OG train. Because OG, for you now, is the underdog. So you're going to make that your storyline. And you're going to take up for OG. You think? You think, Tammy? You think that's really going to happen with them ugly ass shoes on? Do you really? I think you need to reevaluate, look really into this, and then shut up and change your shoes. A whole mess. Then she bust out and called Jackie fake. And Jackie wasn't really trying to argue with Tammy, but it hurt her feelings. It hurt her feelings. And I'm like, no, Jackie wasn't fake. Jackie ain't need to jump in that mess. OG was wrong. OG was doing too much. She's doing too much. You don't like Kristen? Okay, you don't like her. You don't like Kristen? It is what it is. But all that old extra stuff, and you basically use all of the CC stuff to attack Kristen, and then the person that was supposed to be standing side by side with you was Cece. And Cece didn't want all that smoke, so Cece just went over there and tried to do that little inner cry and all that. But you were definitely not a victim, Miss OG. You were the shit starter. You were solidifying your space, and now Tammy's trying to solidify her space on your back. But Tammy, you need to sit down. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so we see London and Malaysia and Kristen actually go out shopping. They go ahead and they bring London up to speed on what actually happened, and it just completely upset London. And it was so genuine, and I felt so bad for London because she didn't care nothing about none of all that stuff that was going on. Her direct response was due to her brother. She knows her brother, obviously, because she ain't even talked to Thomas. And she knew, because she went to crying and saying about how Thomas was going to feel. And was that not exactly how Thomas felt? Did Thomas or did Thomas not feel some kind of way? We've seen it like 3 scenes before it was ever even mentioned to her. And she was dead on. So obviously London and Thomas really do have a bond, and they really do know each other like brothers and sisters should. And that thing really bothered London. I felt bad for her. Malaysia was like, no, see, I ain't feeling this. She's like, I ain't feeling this. I'm not liking the way this is actually going. It just is not, I ain't liking this at all. Then a little bit after that, we saw Shawnee had actually sat down and spoke with Tammy and Jackie. And Tammy was, relaying that cock and bull mess of how she was, going to take up for OG and trying to tell them how they were wrong, and how there was 5 or 6 people jumping on OG. And Shawnee was like, that is not what happened. That is not how things happen, Tammy. And they were explaining the details. And like I said, Tammy had on some old ugly ass shoes that I couldn't stand. Tammy did, as the story started coming out, Tammy started paying attention and was like, oh, well, maybe not. And then she did take the time to apologize to Jackie, which that was good. She apologized to Jackie. But then again, Tammy still wants to make this be her storyline. So she says, oh, well, I'm just going to invite everybody to a luncheon or brunch. And we're going to get all of this straightened out. Tammy, you ain't even been around the group. You haven't even been around the group all this season. Now all of a sudden you're going to throw an event to try to clear up things that's going on with the group of women that you ain't been. Girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit your ass down and change your shoes, I swear, just stop it. Stop it. Absolutely ridiculous. But this is what you want to do, and everybody's invited except for Evelyn. I said, girl, please. But Shawnee straightened her out and got her to kind of like back off some. You know, you on the OG train. And Shawnee made it very clear to OG um, that she should have actually come down on Cece more so than she should on OG. And it kind of got out in that little meeting that they had. It kind of got out that OG was getting played by Cece. And I was looking at OG. OG, some of her bravado kind of broke back because I think she's starting to kind of open her eyes to kind of seeing the fact that, yes, Cece did puppeteer her. And she did. Now, whether or not she ever admits it completely to herself, I think she kind of started to see some of what we saw. Girl, you got played. You got played. She used you. She used you. Like she said, Shawnee told her, she said, you don't like Kristen. You don't like Kristen. And Cece don't like Kristen. Cece give you all kind of information, say all kind of stuff to you. She says all the things to you that she won't say to Kristen because she knows that you will. I said, ain't that exactly what happened? So, again, you saw some of the bravado break down a little bit, but whatever. Anyway, let's move on. Phoebe, Shawnee, and Evelyn get together. We found out that Phoebe's actually working on music. When they came into the studio, that damn, I said, Evelyn, come on, hot puss, simmer down. She flirting with the engineer. He was kind of cute, but she was flirting. I laughed. I said, girl, she a mess. This is the time where we got to see Phoebe. She talked about some of her goals and different things like that, and just the fact that she kind of likes hanging around some of the girls. Like she likes hanging around Evelyn. She likes hanging around Shawnee. You know, because she thinks she can learn some things and pull some things and just learn how to get to some of her goals and reach some of her goals. She thinks that they're good for her to hang around, and of course that boosted their head up, which is actually it's the truth. It's the truth. Phoebe, you all right. Just don't get caught up in a mess too much. She did basically start telling them that she didn't care for OG. She didn't care for OG, and she brought us back to the first meeting where OG did ask her, and it was out of order, if she had a gag order from her baby's dad. That was out of order for her to ask her that. And Phoebe was like, I didn't care for that too much, so I don't know about her. Then Shawnee invited Phoebe to Tammy's brunch. Now that I was like, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Shawnee. How are you going to invite Phoebe, who is Evelyn's friend, who brought Phoebe into the fold, to come to a brunch that Evelyn ain't invited to? I said, oh, that was messy boots. Messy boots. But again, if she's going to be a basketball wife, I mean, I guess that would be, yeah. She don't know Tammy. I said, I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments how'd y'all feel about that? I felt that was ultra messy for you to invite a friend that I brought into the fold to an event that I ain't invited to. I just was like, I don't know about that. But whatever. So all the girls are invited except for Evelyn. So let's go over to Tammy's brunch. Baby, that brunch got started right away. Tammy jumps in. She's going to facilitate because she's, again, trying to make this her storyline. That's how I seen it. I don't know. Y'all could disagree with me. Let me know in the comments. But I just saw Tammy trying to use this as her storyline because I just don't see where any of this has a goddamn thing to do with Tammy. But anyway, so Cece, for some reason, was really feeling herself. She was feeling herself down to this little brunch. I don't care if none of Byron's kids don't like me. I'm sick of all of y'all. And I don't care if none of y'all come to the wedding. And everybody's like, everybody. Jackie, Malaysia, all of them was like, whoa. Well, I don't think Shawnee was all that shocked because I think Shawnee has actually seen Cece for who she is. And they're like, okay, wow. And at that moment, I was looking at Tammy, and Tammy did a small piece of a confessional. Tammy seeing Cece for exactly the bitch that she really, really is. And I said, thank you, Tammy. Thank you. You have to find something else, baby, because you don't want to be tied up in that. She ain't right. And Tammy saw it. And I said, me and Tammy agreeing on something. Look at that. But yeah, Tammy got it. Tammy and Shawnee see CC. And I think after today, Malaysia sees CC. And Malaysia was like, whoa, yeah. I'm going to have to go see Byron directly. I'm not going to play this game with this whore no more. I'm going to go see Byron, my goddamn self. I said, yeah. So, anyway, after that, we saw Kristen, Vanessa, Evelyn, and Phoebe. Child, they went to this wine tasting. why, why they give Phoebe that wine? Phoebe gives me 40-ounce girl. She's a 40-ounce chick. She said, this shit tastes like shit. But said after a couple of them, you don't even taste it no more. It's just wet. Her ass that got all high up on that wine and got to run in her mouth, baby. And she came on out with her whole thing, and they were getting their life laughing at Phoebe because Phoebe was like, I don't like that goddamn OG bitch. I was like, she was spilling it. Her mouth was running like this. I said, girl, that wine. Phoebe, we didn't keep you off the wine, baby. We're going to put you back on malt liquor because you and this wine, she was letting OG have it. She said, honey, I don't know who she thinks she is to question me about my baby's dad, honey. Said he wanted them kids by me, and that's what he wanted. She said, my baby ain't no standby. My baby is a junior, honey. She better go try to figure out whether that man that she got wants to give her a baby, if she can even have one, honey, and stay out of my goddamn business. I said, oh, don't give Phoebe no more wine. She let OG have it. So I said, boy, we can look forward to a clash between Phoebe and OG. Cause listen, I don't like what that hoe said about me. And let me tell you what I really think. I said, more wine. I got tickled. I said, come on, Phoebe. So, and they was going in, child. I mean, going, and you hear that damn Evelyn couldn't get herself together. I said, y'all better leave Phoebe alone. Y'all set Phoebe up. And Phoebe she be fine. I like Phoebe. Phoebe gonna be fine. Anyway, and then lastly, we did see Kristen go talk to Byron. And everything kind of got put out on the table. And Byron's kind of seeing everything. Kind of seeing the whole picture. And he said to himself, he don't think Kristen is completely at fault for everything. But Cece probably has some part in it. Do you think the bitch got some part in it? Yeah, she got a whole lot of part in it. Her mouth is vicious. But I think it kind of turned the light on a little bit that it's you got a whole issue, bruh, going on. So I think he got that from his little conversation with Malaysia, but he's still being petty. He's still being petty about this whole thing with Kristen and still talking that old, they didn't bring the baby, not one time did they bring the baby to see me. I said, y'all getting on my nerves with that on both sides. You wasn't interested in seeing the baby and they wasn't all that interested in you seeing it. Y'all both are at fault. Get over it. Be honest. It is what it is. You didn't give a damn about seeing the baby. You didn't give a damn. Just say it. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But at least he's getting more of a full picture that it ain't really just whatever. It really ain't just whatever. You better get this shit in order, bro. It's going to be a whole mess. If it continues on, it's going to be a whole mess. I think he got it. But we'll see going forward. We'll see. All right, you all. I'll catch y'all next week on this mess. I can't wait to trust me. There's going to be a Phoebe and OG clash at some point, and I can't wait to see it. Child, they know what to do. Give Phoebe some more wine, honey. When OG's around, and it's gonna be on and popping, and you know somebody's petty ass is gonna do it. Probably Evelyn. I'll see y'all next week.